Tractate Sanhedrin, page 44. We start on page 43b, right after the Mishnah. The subject of Achan, early part of book of Joshua. Joshua, the next leader after Moses, led the Jewish people to the Holy Land. He passed the city of Jericho. In the narrative, the story in the Tanakh speaks about someone did not follow the order. The Almighty said that you should not take anything from the leftover of Jericho. Someone betrayed. People get killed. In the next mission, which was the city of Ai, Joshua fasted and cried and begged God to know why so many soldiers get killed, and eventually God discovered the mystery, in a way revealed to him the idea that someone betrayed, someone took from the leftover, which his name is Achan. We're going to study the narrative. We're going to study also a very important sentence in the Torah that said, Hanistarot la Hashem Elokeinu, the hidden part is belong to God, vehaniglot, and something is revealed is to us and to our future generations. So let's start with the Gemara. We said in the previous shi'ur, in the previous daf, that Achan is the paragon, is the prime example of someone who sincerely confesses for his sin. He said, I'm sorry, I did a terrible mistake, and then he was, in the biblical time, executed. And some hold that the second part of the prayer, Aleinu Leshabeach, which we recite every day, 3 times a day, the second part is the composition of Achan, beginning with his name, Al Ken Nekaveh Ein Chaf Nun Sofit. So here we're dealing with all the subsequent event that caused Achan to reach that point and to confess before his death. Na, meaning when Joshua approached Achan and he said to him, please give glory to God of Israel and make confession to the Almighty. So expression na, meaning at this point now, ein na ela lashon bakasha. When there is expression of please in the biblical term, it means an expression of supplication, which means that the question is, how come and why you have this biblical Joshua that needs to have this type of implication when he approached Achan? Why, in a way, Joshua need to beg him to confess? בשעה שאמר הקדוש ברוך הוא ליהושע, when the Almighty said that the next leader after Moses, in the book of Joshua chapter 7, so God approached him and said, Chata Yisrael. Joshua begged God, it says, how come my soldiers get killed? And God responded to him after he confesses and fasts and did everything right. God said, the nation of Israel sinned before me, and also they took from leftover of the city of Jericho. Amar lefanav, Joshua said before the Almighty, Ribono shel olam mi chata, Almighty God, Master of the universe, who is the one who have sinned before you? Amar le v'chi dilto ani. Again, this is an anthropomorphic language, but in a way God said to him, what do you want me to be, like the informer, the one who tells you who did it? Lech hapel goralot, go and cast a lottery, cast a goral, and therefore by doing so, you casting a lot, you find out who did it. Halach v'ipil goralot v'nafal hagoral al Achan. According to Rabbi David Kimchi, in his interpretation of the book of Yehoshua, chapter 7, it was a process. At the beginning, he searched the tribe, then he used the Urim Vetumim, that's the breastplate that the high priest carried. He used it to go further, the family, and eventually he reached the name of a person. So when Achan realized that he is the one who come out of the lottery, Amar lu Yoshua begoral ata ba'alai, how come you executed me just by lottery and not by normal court procedure, which is having a testimony of witnesses and more? אתה ואלעזר הכהן שני גדולי הדורתם, you and Elazar the high priest, you are the leader of the generation. אם אני מפיל עליכם גורל, על אחד מכם הוא נופל. Which is, if I do it to you, which is, I cast a lot upon two of you, it will perforce fall upon one of you. What then can you prove from the lottery? How do you prove my guilt? Because the point is, it has to be, anytime you cast a lottery, it has to be someone that comes out. אמר לו, בבקשה ממך, אל תוציא לעז על הגורלות. He says, I ask you to please do not spread slander about the lots. שעתידה ארץ ישראל שתתחלק בגורל, because the land of Israel is going to divide by lottery, as the Torah instructed us in the book of Bamidbar chapter 26, אך בגורל יחלק את הארץ. The land should be divided by lot. So because it has to come out of lottery, and lottery may be challenged, so Joshua said to her, Lord, nah, pleading with Achan to confess and not to try to dispute it. It was basically the way that the Torah described in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 26, when we study it in Bava Batra, page 122, it was a bag of 12 tribes in one place, and the other one, it was the locations, and then they pick up one from each and they match it. And then it was the Urim V'Tumim as well. But anyway, the Iyun Yaakov elaborates and said they use it in such a way for several reasons, either Meshaneh Leman HaShalom, or the Maharsha and others said in order to avoid any lazut sfatayim, any bad mouthing against the lottery. But anyway, Amar Ravina Shachadei Bemilei. Again, it's just using our language, is he using kind of words that is just make him confess. כלום נבקש ממך אלא הודעה, תן לו תודה והיפטר. What we asking you? We're asking you to do anything but a confession. So אמר אבינה שחדי במילי, כלום נבקש ממך אלא הודעה, תן תודה והיפטר. So basically he said to him, do we ask anything of you but confession? So he asked him, make this confession, and then you will be free. So the Gemara in the Yevamot 65 asks these questions. You see it also in Iyun Yaakov. If a person allowed to Meshaneh Leman HaShalom, change for the sake of peace, Miyad, right away, Achan responded. That's in Joshua chapter 7. ויען achan את יהושע ויאמר, אומנה אנוכי חטאתי להשם אלוהי ישראל וכזאת וכזאת עשיתי. He admitted and he said, I have sinned before the Lord, God of Israel, and I did like so and so I have done. אמר רב אסי, אמר רבי חנינא, מלמד שמעל achan בשלושה חרמים. Here we derive that Achan made three misuse of consecrated property from three different dedications. שניים בימי משה, two in the time of Moses, ואחד בימי יהושע, and one in the time of Joshua, שנאמר, וכזאת עשיתי. So, because he's used the term, אנוכי חטאתי, I have sinned, and so I did wrong, so we derive from that, רבי יוחנן אמר משום רבי אלעזר ורבי שמעון, חמישה. There's a 5. 4 בימי משה ואחד בימי יהושע, שנאמר אנוכי חטאתי וכזאת עשיתי. If you read in the מפרשים, the Yad Ramah, the Tosfot HaRosh, that brings all the list of things. There is a beautiful Aruch Laner here in Maharsha. The whole idea of why he confesses, what he confesses, the whole idea of lo yezalzel bagoral, that he should not belittle the lottery, or other reasons. the whole idea of derivative in the sense of halachot, you see one of the response of the late Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, about a melamed, a teacher in a school, when he caught someone, but he's not sure who is in the class, and he tried to enforce it, find the informer in the class to report one of the students that did wrong, for the purpose of chinuch or other purposes. The derivative from this story is a big teshuvah of a Moshe Feinstein. Anyway, it's also a Rambam dealing here with the Hora'at Sha'ah, what exactly involved here when you put the execution for anyone who's misused the consecrated property. Up to this point, why he was not punished? אמר רבי יוחנן משום רבי אלעזר ברבי שמעון, לפי שלא ענש על הנסתרות עד שיעברו ישראל את הירדן, which is the punishment will not be inflicted until for all of these hidden sins that committed by individual, until the Jewish people cross the Jordan River. Ketanai, this is based on what we have in the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy chapter 29. You see the dot at the top of those letters, הנסתרות להשם אלוהינו ונגלות לנו ולבנינו ad olam. So here we derive from the whole idea that Rashi explained and others, that the hidden is kind of belong to God, and we know all the thing that is open and known for us. So laman nakud, why we have dots at the top of those letters, al lanu ulbanenu ve'al ayin shebe'ad, מלמד שלא ענש על הנסתרות עד שעברו ישראל את הירדן, דברי רבי יהודה. You have here תוספות. Anyway, אמר לו רבי נחמיה, וכי ענש הנסתרות לעולם, ולא כבר נאמר עד עולם, so it's not forever. So he said, אלא כשם שלא ענש על הנסתרות, כך לא ענש על עונשים שבגלוי עד שעברו את ישראל את הירדן. The same way is not punished for the hidden, is not punished for the sin committed publicly by individual until the Jewish people cross the Jordan River. So basically Rabbi Nehemiah disputed, and that's the whole idea of ad olam. Lanu Ulvanenu is limited the amount of time only for the niglot, only the thing that is known. But obviously there is a Tosfot, Dibur Matchil Amar Lei, that he brings basically the Rabbeinu Tam that goes in different direction for this disputation between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Nehemiah. Page 44, Achan mai ta'ama I anush, for what's the reason that Achan were punished? Because his sin was in a hidden way. So the Gemara said, Mishum dehavuya deibei ishto vanav. So we have a rule, whenever you have three people that are aware of a sin, that's Gemara in Bava Batra 39, that's already considered many. You see more in the Meir, in Yad Ramah, that say that that's basically the same as Ma'aseh Galui, is something that you do it in public. But the whole concept of Kol Yisrael Arevin Ze Lazeh is a book called Tzofnat Pa'aneach. So he suggests that the principle that all the Jewish people are responsible for one another is based on the fact that they are considered a single entity and not a collection of individuals. So they were considered a single entity only after they established their permanent home in the land of Israel, under the leadership of a single unifying ruler. But so therefore they were not punished for each other's sins before they crossed the Jordan River and entered the land. So the whole concept of they know it, that's that's their responsibility. There is Avnei Nezer, that in Yoreh are 15, that is the different avenue with all understanding. There is a famous story about the Hasidic Rabbi Beit Yitzchak. So it was 3 sons of one of the Hasidic Rabbi that passed away, and they conflict who will be the next leader. So the Beit Yitzchak said, I cannot rule it. That's a hidden part. So they said to him, you know, several weeks ago we heard that was a rabbi in a community that have 2 sons, and you rule who will take over. So he said, when it comes to halachot, it's a different thing. I can test the person and see who is more knowledgeable. But when it's come to nistarot, knowing the hidden, who is blessing, has more effect, who has a better connection to the divine providence, obviously it's above me. Anyway, Chata Israel, when Joshua tried to search what's the reason for the plague, right after getting to the war in the city of Ai, God said to him in the book of Yehoshua, chapter 7, verse 11, Chata Israel, the nation of Israel has sinned. Amar Rabbi Abba bar Zavda, Afal pi shechata Yisrael hu. And that's an important concept, that even they made a sin, they made a mistake, they still call him Israel. Rashi said, not just the nation. That's the declaration of Israel. Is a well-known story in Bereshit, when Yaakov Avinu, our forefather Jacob, wrestled with the angel and overcome him. So that's the Sar El, that he was able to, Yaakov said, to overcome the angel. So that's the idea, that even they made a mistake, they still considering Yisrael. אמר רבי אבא היינו דאמרין שעשה דקאי ביני חילפה עשה שמי ועשה קראו לי. He said that when you have the hadassim, the martel, so even among the throne, people still call it a hadassim, a beautiful martel. So I heard one of those moving stories about the couple. It was the Nazis in Machshamam during World War II. They forced fellow Jews to be the kind of the intermediate policemen. So obviously there are many stories. One of them, it was a very vicious couple. But one time they came during Yom Kippurim, and they asked him to enforce the people purposely to eat on Yom Kippur. And he refused to do it. So the Nazis came and they said to him, you know, you better do your job. So he said, you know, this is a day that the Jewish people are fasting, and since most of the years they are fasting anyway, I'm not going to do that. And the Germans warned him, and he said, you know, I'm going to shoot you. So he opened his chest and he said, do it, because this is a limitation, I'll not enforce that. And he shot him. So that's the whole idea, that when it's come to Israel, afal shpi shechata Israel hu. There's a big response and question halacha when it's come to count for the minyan, those poshei Israel. But that's one of the notions, that the beauty of the nation, even is a marvel, that among throne is still a marvel. וגם עברו את בריתי אשר ציוויתי אותם, וגם לקחו מן החרם, וגם גנבו, וגם כחשו, וגם שמו בכליהם. Here is a list of sins that they did. They violate my covenant. They commanded that I also take the dedicated properties. They stole them. They dissembled and they put them among their own goods. אמר רבי לאה משום רבי יהודה בר מספרתא, מלמד שעבר החן על 5 חומשי תורה, שנאמר 5 גם. So he violated the 5 חומשי Torah. It doesn't mean that the entire Torah, but many mitzvot. Yad Ramah explains that each of these 5 averot, 5 sins, was a committed. ואמר רבי לאה משום רבי יהודה בר מספרתא, החן מושך בעורלתו היה, כתיבך וגם עבור בריתי, וכתיבה התם את בריתי אפר. So basically they said that he was also one of the idea that he want to appear non-Jewish, stretch his foreskin. So pshita, מהו לתם המצווה גופה לא פקר, כמשמע לן. It's one of those stories that one of the assistant, the President of the United States during World War II, which didn't do enough, or didn't do at all, some said, for the Jews in Germany, one of his assistants met the late Rav Kotler, and Rav Kotler said to his assistant to talk to the assistant of U.S. President and tell him that even if it take away his job or whatever the price he needs to pay, he needs to dedicate himself for the fellow Jews in Europe. And the fellow said to him, I'm ready and willing to do that. And he was a total not observant Jew. Again, the same concept. ישראל אף על פי שחטא ישראל הוא. עשה נבלה בישראל אמר רבי אבא בר זבדא מלמד שבעל אחן נערה המאורסה. Here they speak about one of the violation that he engaged in the intercourse with a betrothed woman. So this offense is also alluded by the wording of the pasuk. כתיבך וכי עשה נבלה וכתיבתם כי עשתה נבלה בישראל. So the same, the Gemara said פשיטה, מהו דתמה כולי לו פקר נפשי כמש מלן. So he went low in that level that he did. רבין אמר דיני כמרא מוסד בסקילה, stoning. There is obviously a lot to discuss. We don't have time, but Yad Ramah you can see and many more. What exactly the horah here. So now we talk about the lottery around the Achan's family. אמר לרש גלותא לרבונה כתיב ויקח יהושע את אחן בן זרח ואת הכסף ואת העדרת ולשון הזהב ואת בניו ובנותיו ואת שורו ואת חמורו ואת צאנו ואת העולו ואת כל אשר לו. אם הוא חטא בניו ובנותיו מה חטאו? If he's seen, how about his sons and daughter? What exactly why they executed as well? אמר לי לתעמיך אם הוא חטא כל ישראל מה חטאו? דכתיב וכל ישראל לאמור אלא לרדותן הכנם כדי לרדותן. So it wasn't not to execute them, just to warn them. וישרפו אותם באש ויסקלו אותם באבנים בתרתי, which means Achan and his animals, both in burning and stoning. So אמר רבינה, הראוי לשרפה לשרפה ולסקילה לסקילה. It's all depend upon what's befitting. ויראה בשלל הדרת שנהר אחד טובה ו200 שקלים כסף. רב אמר אצטלה דמלתה, ושמואל אמר סרבלה דצריפה. רב said that the medal of Shinar is a clock of choice wool. Shmuel said it's a garment of dye with autumn. ויצקו לפני השם, אמר רב נחמן, בא וחבטם לפני המקום, אמר לפניו ריבונו של עולם, עלו תהרג רובה של סנהדרין, ודכתיב ויקום מהם אנשי הגיא כ36 איש, 36 people, ותן ל36 ממש, דבר רבי יהודה, אמר רבי נחמיה, וכי 36 היו, ולא נאמר כ33 איש, אלא זה יאיר בן מנשה, ששקול כנגד רובה של סנהדרין. That's the 36 that he is the same as רוב סנהדרין. סנהדרין גדולה is 71, so that's the שקול that is so high. אמר רב נחמן אמר רב, מה דכתיב תחנונים דבר רעש והשיר יענה הזאת, תחנונים דבר רעש למשה והשיר יענה הזאת, זה יהושע. So again, this is usually when Moses pray for Klal Israel, for the whole nation, that's basically the number of the Dayanim in the Sanhedrin Gdolah, versus when Yoshua complained, it was about the passing of Yair ben Menashe, that he was so smart that he can, Maharsha said, can take his ruling in every manner. מה הייתה? מה אילמה? משום דכתיב ויצקים לפני השם, אבל רב נחמן בא וחבטן לפני המקום. So the Rav Nachman said that it means that Joshua came and cast the spoil down before God as part of his argument. עטו פינחס לא עביד אחי, דכתיב ויעמוד פינחס ויפלל ותעצר מהקפה. פינחס stood up and prayed and the plague stopped. ואמר רבי אלעזר ויתפלל לו, נאמר עליו ויפלל, מלמד שעשה פלילות עם קונו. So it means that he's basically kind of argue in our language with God. בא וחבטן לפני המקום, אמר לפניו ריבונו של עולם, הללו יפלו 24,000 מישראל, for this 24,000 will die, דכתיב היו המתים במגפה 24,000. ולמה היה חלמה עברת אוויר את העם הזה את הירדן, משה נמי מימר אמר, למה ראות על העם הזה, למה היה ולו הועלנו ונשם בעבר הירדן. ויאמר השם אל יהושע, קום לך. God said to Joshua, come and get up, why do you lie this way on your face? דריש רבי שאלה, אמר לי הקדוש ברוך הוא, שלך קשה משלהם. You are much worse, your own sin is even worse than they, all the other Jews who sin. As I said to the Jewish people, אני אמרתי, והיה בעוברכם את הירדן תקימו, when you cross the Jordan River, you shall set up these stones, ואתם רחקתם 60 מייל, and you distance yourself 60 mile from the Jordan River, and you have not fulfilled the mitzvah. Batar den Afik, after Rav Shila finished the lecture and went out, הוקים רב המורה עליה, ולרש כאשר ציווה השם את משה עבדו, כן ציווה משה את יהושע, וכן עשה יהושע לא הסיר מכל דבר מכל אשר ציווה השם משה. So this basically real indication that Joshua could not have been guilty of a grave offense such as delaying in setting up the stones. אם כן מה תלמוד לומר קום לך, אמר לי אתה גרמת לנו, you caused us, והיינו דקאמר לי ביי ועשית לעי ולמלכה כאשר עשית לירחול ולמלכה. Then the pasuk said another mistake, apparently mistake that made by Yoshua. ויהי בירות יהושע בירחו ויסיינה וירא וגומר ויאמר לו כי שר צבא השם אני באתי ויפול יהושע על פניו ארצה וישתחו. היכי אבי דחי, why he prostrated himself and bowed down, how could Joshua do so, bow down to a stranger at night? ואמר רבי יוחנן אסור לאדם שייתן שלום לחברו בלילה חשין על שם השדו, person should not greet another one, maybe it's a demon. So why Joshua was not concerned about this possibility, that he's a demon? שהנאתם דקאמר לי אני שר צבא השם אתה באתי, because he said I'm the Lord's minister, I'm here to come, so עבדים המשקר, maybe lying. So the Gemara said, Gemarrah דלומר פקי שם שמיים בבטלה, we understand that the demons do not express the name of the Almighty in heaven in vain. And since this figure mentioned the name of heaven, it must have been speaking the truth, and the assumption it wasn't a shed. The Rekanati, one of the Kabbalists in Shmot chapter 20, you see it also Rabbi Yosef Albo in Sefer Ikarim chapter 2, that basically said that sometimes angels appear as a person, and the question is the same way as we bow down to a king, is that okay to do it the same way for that case? The response of Tzitz Eliezer, the late Rabbi Waldenberg in Yoredea 105, elaborates on that, and you see also in the codes over what allow and what not to do in this type of situations. Page 44b, אמר לי אמש ביטלתם תמיד של בן 40 ועכשיו ביטלתם תלמוד תורה. He said to him, Emesh, meaning the previous night, the Radak explained that it's already night. So he said that yesterday in the afternoon you neglected sacrifice the daily afternoon offering because you were engaged in warfare, and now when it's dark you neglected Torah study. Al eze mehem bata, for which one of the sins you come to reprove me? So the angel said to him, Atavati, which means the fact that it did not come before but waited until now, when it's dark, they indicate that the sin neglecting Torah study is more severe one. So that's basically Rashi explained. You see it in the Tractate Megillah Tosfot in the page 3. That's the ve'ata kitvu lachem tashira zot. Ve'ata, that applies to the Torah study. The Rav of Ponevezh explained, may rest in peace, Rav Kahneman, explained that how are you expecting from Klal Israel, from the Jewish nation, in the midst of war, to occupy themselves with the study of Torah and expect them to pay a price for the sin of not study Torah? So that's exactly the idea he explained by using the word ata bati, which means ve'ata kitvu lachem tashira zot. That applies to the Torah study, that the Torah should be in such a sweetest way, like a shira, like a song of his mouth. So regardless if it's a time of peace or the time of war, it's like someone meshorer me'ilav, someone singing along. And that's the text right away said, Vayalen Yoshua shelan be'omka shel halacha, that he's right away occupy himself with study Torah. Mai vayalen Yoshua miyad balayla ahu. What does that mean when they said in the text in Joshua chapter 8 verse 9 that Joshua lodged that night into the midst of the valley? Rabbi Yochanan teaches us that he lodged all night in the depth like David HaMelech in halacha, thereby atoning for his previous neglect of Torah study. אמר שמואל בר אוניה משמי דרב, גדול תלמוד תורה יותר מהקרבת תמידים. The study of Torah is greater than bringing the sacrificial offering of daily offering. שנאמר אתה באתי, because I said I have now come. That's the whole idea of neglect of Torah study is more serious offense than neglect of the daily offering. אמר לאביי לרב דימי היקרא במערבה במאי מוקים תולי. This explained in Eretz Israel, it's called the West. אל תצא לריב מהר פן מה תעשה באחריתה באכלים אותך רעך, ריב את רעך וסוד אחר אל תיגל. This is advice from the book of Proverbs chapter 25. They said, do not proceed hastily to litigation lest you know not what to do in the end of it. When your neighbor has put you shame, debate your cause with your neighbor and do not reveal the secret of another. So, בשעה שאמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא ליחזקאל, when the Almighty said to Ezekiel, לך אמור להם לישראל, אביך אמורי ואמך חיתית, your father was an Amorite and your mother is a Hittite, אמרה רוח פסקונית לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא. So the spirit, שתדלנית, פסקונית, which is another name for the angel Gabriel, Rashi said. ריבונו של עולם יבוא אברהם מיצחק, אברהם ושרה יעמדו לפניך, אתה אומר להם ומחלים אותם? If our ancestors Abraham and Sarah, the patriarch and matriarch, come now and stand before you, will you speak to them in such a manner and put them to shame? ריבך ריב את רעך וסוד אחר אל תגל. So debate your cause with your neighbor and not reveal the secret of another. So, by the way, what Rashi said here, that Paskanit is Gabriel, the Vilna Gaon disagrees, said Noken. So the Rebbe of Munkach, may rest in peace, in his book Divrei Torah, Chelek Aleph, Siman Peivav, explained the Vilna Gaon based on the Arizal, that said that that's the Hamalach Mem Tetet, and it's Malach Gabriel is Mitzad Gvura, and here they said Malach, it's one who melamed zchut. So that's the whole idea that Rashi here, when he speaks about Malach Gabriel, so the beginning you start with Malach Michael, that's the idea of chesed, of kindness, when there's nothing to express as any form of zchut, and then you have Amtakat Adinin, and that's the Gemara in Shabbat 55 that said that the Almighty asked Gabriel that he should put the letter Tav on the tzaddikim, that the Malachi Kabbalah will not control them. And then the Gemara said, we're going to study Mitzvah on page 95b about the Sanheriv, Magalcha Netusha, that the Chesed to a nation of Israel come toward the Din. So that's here, the same here. But here Rashi said that it's Paskonit is Gabriel, that the Mekubalim said that when it's come to Shamtat, that's Yosef. That's the Gemara in Sotah 36b that said that Gabriel came and he taught Yosef 70 languages, Shivim Leshonot. Anyway, there is a big Ma'alach in the Munkach Rebbe in the book Divrei Torah. So, anyway, ומי איתה לרשותה כולי היי. So the angel allowed to do such a thing, with so much authority to reprove in our way the Almighty in such a manner. So the Gemara said, Ein דאמר רבי יוסי ברבי חנינא, שלוש שמות יש לו. There are three names for that angel, פסקון, יתמון, סיגרון. פסקון שפוסק דברים כלפי מעלה, in the merit of עם ישראל, יתמון שאותם עוונותיהם של ישראל, סיגרון כיוון שסוגר, שוב אינו פותח. So the Rashi explained that even if Gabriel did not make it with asking for compassion, so then no one else can do it anyway. היארוך שועך לא בצר. It said in the book of Job, chapter 36, had you prepared your prayers before you troubles came. אמר רבי אלעזר, לעולם הקדים אדם תפילה לצרה. So he said a person should always offer up prayer before trouble actually arrives. שאלמלא לא הקדים אברהם תפילה לצרה, בין ביתל ובין העי, לא נשתר משונאים של ישראל שריד ופליד. Obviously it's the opposite way, but that's example from the Abraham Avinu, that he perceived prayer to sorrow, otherwise between Betel and Ben Ai, otherwise nothing will left. That's a euphemism. There is a book called Toldot Yaakov to the Rebbe of Polna'a. So he explained in Parashat Noach on behalf of the Baal Shem Tov, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, that's the secret how the tzaddik can abrogate it, can expand a gzerot raot, bad decree. How the Almighty make this decree, but he said the gzar din, the severe decree, comes out of letters, of otiyot. So the tzaddik can have the combination of the otiyot, and he can turn around tzara to retzeh, just changing the words. That's the Gemara in Bava Basra, Kuftei Zayin, that said anyone who is sick in his house, go by the Chacham and ask for compassion on him. So that's the idea in Mishlei Tet Zayin. They said, Chamat Melech Malachei Mavet Vish Chacham Yechaprena. Chaprena from the Eres le'eser, the Vai le'yud. So that's that's what the Almighty said to Noach, that was a tzaddik ador, that was the righteous person of that generation, that he can have a hamtakat hadinim, sweeten the severe decree by using the combination of the tevot tzara. He can do to tzohar, tzohar ta'aseh lateva, which means from the tzara can be a tzohar. It's one of those books of the 11th century of Rabbi Abulafia that dealt with the Torat HaTzerufim, combination of letters. Anyway, ריש לקיש אמר, כל המאמץ עצמו בתפילה מלמטה הם נוצרים מלמעלה. Anyone who really concentrates himself with the energy of prayer in this world below have no enemies in heaven above causing him trouble. רבי יוחנן אמר, אולם מבקש אדם רחמים שיהיו הכל מאמצים את כוחו ולא יוצרים מלמעלה. Basically, a person should always ask for mercy, pray for mercy. All heavenly beings should strengthen his power of prayer, that he should have no enemies causing him trouble in heaven above. So they said, מניין שכפר לו וידויו, שנאמר, תנו רבנן, מניין שכפר לו וידויו, שנאמר, ויאמר לו יהושע, מה אחרתנו? Yeshua said to him, why have you brought trouble on us? יאחרך השם היום הזה, the Lord shall trouble you this day. So what's the idea? So they explain, היום הזה אתה אחור, ואתה אחור לעולם הבא. On this day, you judgment, you are in trouble, but you will not be trouble in the world to come. וכתיבו בני זרח זמרי ואיתן ואימן וחלקול ודרדה, כולם 5. So it means 5 names, but כולם 5 הן לעולם הבא. Even Zimri, which is Achan. Since Achan is a share in the world to come, his confession must achieve atonement for him. כתיב זמרי וכתיב Achan, רב ושמואל אחד אמר Achan שמו, ולמה נקרא שמו זמרי, שעשה מעשה זמרי, he made the same manner of ni'uf, of adultery as Zimri in the Torah. That's the Bamidbar 25. ואחד אמר זמרי שמו, that's the real name, ולמה נקרא שמו אחן, שאיחן עוונותיהם של ישראל. Because he is like a snake and caused the punishment of the sins, the Jewish people. So that's the reason why he called Achan. The Rashash cites the passage in defense of the practice of reciting the Angel of Mercy prayer, a practice that many others objected because the prayer is directed not to God but to angels. So Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim 101 is not happy with the whole concept of praying the angels. So in general, you should know in the Sidurim sometimes you see all kind of Shemot, and the rabbis instructed us to be very careful by any means not to pronounce and not to think by any intermediary, but only the Almighty God Himself. When one prayer should pray directly to God and not to any intermediaries.